What I'm working on in my swing at the moment is being able to sync my lower body to my upper body on the way down. The Hyperflex shoe offers the stability and comfort that I'm looking for in my golf swing. Golf shoes are a huge part of golf equipment, especially when I'm working with the longer clubs like 3-wood and driver. I'm really able to go to another gear and know that I'm going to be supported. My name is Elvis Smiley and these are my FJs.
Welcome to Talk Birdie to Me with former world number 16 Nick O'Hearn and Tour Pro Mark Allen, live from Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. And thanks to our great partners, Host Plus, the official retirement partner of Talk Birdie to Me, Titleist, the clear #1 ball in golf, FootJoy, the #1 shoe and glove in golf. Better, when the greats bet, they bet with Better. Ping will help you play your best. And the Golf Clearance Outlet, who beat everyone's prices. Now, here's Nick and Mark.
Friday feedback, hit me clean. Friday feedback, make me mean. Tell me what you love, tell me what you need. Friday feedback.
Like our new little Friday feedback jingle mentioned, it's time for Friday feedback. What do you think? I like it. Well done, Dan. I think it's good.
Well, it's all AI, so it's nothing. It's not like we've got a full band in there playing, but it's a bit of fun. So, Nick, what's your verdict? Does it stay? What do you think?
I'm sure it'll grow on me.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
I
we'll go with that. Okay, bit of feedback here. Now, this what's this on? This is on. Oh, okay. This is feedback on how we were talking about strange golf names last week. Now, this one comes from Jonny. Guys, speaking of strange golf names, there were 2 lions in golf: Lion Go, Goh, and Lion Kim. Both are unranked.
Right.
Obviously, their parents had big aspirations.
Yeah, that's right. Well, they went the opposite. Where did they find lions in India and tigers somewhere else, or how's it work? They've gone.
I guess so. King of the jungle.
Lions. No, you get tigers in India, right? You get a Bengal tiger.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So the lion is just Africa.
Oh, geez, we're going to get ripped apart.
Well,
We will get ripped apart. Remember the time we got?
But it's a
Flora?
play on tiger.
It's been
obviously.
Well, yeah, and they thought, well, lions are the king of the jungle and tigers are somewhere below them, right?
Yeah, right.
Maybe? I don't know.
You remember the time we got flora and fauna mixed up?
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
no, I got that up. Yeah.
Ripped to pieces. Well, we didn't pick it up either. So
I didn't pick it up, yeah.
But now we're not knowing where lions live, so we're going to be, I reckon, in a bit of trouble here.
That's okay.
We'll
make it through.
Johnny's also gone on to say you missed one of the best nicknames, Mike Harwood, how he became Exacto. There's a great story behind this, but I reckon only Australians would understand it.
Yeah, well, Exacto was an old wind cheater. And Mike Harwood, I think it must have been the year that Greg Norman did the walk-off at Royal Melbourne. And he was on top of the 7th hole, which is the highest point basically on the golf course. He had a very quick putt down the hill. I don't think he did it on purpose, I don't reckon. But maybe he did, who knows. But he put the golf bag pretty much behind his putt so it wouldn't affect
the wind
ball going down the hill.
Well, that kind of, and no one really knew about that rule back in the day.
No.
So I don't think he was actually, he wasn't cheating or anything. He didn't think he was.
He didn't think he was.
No.
Do you know who
But
came
did
up
he
with
get-
the nickname? I'll give you one guess.
Did he get a 2-shot penalty?
Got a 2-shot.
Okay, right.
Do you know who came up with the nickname?
Radar.
Wayne Riley.
Have to be Radar.
Wayne Riley called him Exacto because he was a wind cheater.
On nicknames, John has said, is it true that the Ox came up with a nickname for you, Mark, Harry Highpants?
No, that was Billy Brownless. But Billy Brownless, I was new in radio when I was working with Bill, and something was in the paper, and they used an old picture of me. And, I was very lucky in my career. I was dressed by Gazman for a little while. I was dressed by Ralph Lauren for a little while, which was unbelievable. But the 2 years that I was dressed by Country Road, they had the highest cut chinos with the pleats that you've ever seen. And I did look like Harry Highpants. So, yes.
We might have to dig out the old photos or something on that. I've never seen it.
Billy Brownless started it, and then, of course, Ox was on board from the very beginning.
You were talking
That's right.
last week, Nick, you were talking about how the top 5 was things you call people when you don't remember their names.
Yes.
I worked with Bill as well, and Bill's got a cracker. Bill calls people Coco.
Coco, yeah.
Coco is his
Everyone's Coco.
his go-to.
G'day, Coco.
Hey, Coco.
Yeah,
Okay.
works a treat. You should try it out.
Okay.
Try it out
I'll
next
add that
time
for-
you're up at Cathedral.
I'll
See
add
how
that-
it goes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, actually, let's have a practice run now. Nick, just say to Mum.
Yeah.
Well, no, you know when the best time for you to use it?
Sure.
When you finally get into Royal Melbourne.
Oh,
and you're in,
yes.
and you're in that entrance meeting.
Good one.
And just walk in the door and say, "G'day, Coco," and see what
I'll
happens.
single out the captain.
I think that would go well. I think they'd love it.
I think you'll like it.
Matthew, question for you boys. When do you think the big tournaments will make their way to PK?
Oh, that's a good question. I hear there's a composite course at PK. I don't think there's a need for it.
I'm sure there is a good composite there. The one I'd love, I mean, I do enjoy the Vic Open down at 13th Beach.
Yes.
But I think it'd really be good at PK for the men and the women. That'd be awesome.
Well, because
you need a 36-hole facility.
in a perfect world here in Victoria, there are two sides of the bay. You got the Bellarine Peninsula, and then you got the Mornington Peninsula, and both courses are kind of front and centre of each side of the peninsula. So, in my view, if you want to give the Bellarine a rest every second year, give the members a rest, I'm sure that the people at Peninsula Kingswood, if we can get that tournament back up where it used to be, which was a European tour event when Minwoo Lee won it, and a US tour event the same year for the ladies, then my God, they have both courses on show. And I always remember this about Peninsula Kingswood. What was that? It's like a skills test that the girls were doing called
the Athena.
the Athena. I've never seen a golf course look better on TV than what that looked like during the Athena.
The
It
bunkering was so sharp into the greens.
colour, the emerald green of the fairways. My God, it came up so beautiful. And something like that, you know, if the rest of the world got to see what Peninsula Kingswood looks like on TV, my God, they'd be coming from the clouds. No one's not going to play that golf course if they see it on TV.
So funny you're talking about the two peninsulas and also PK, because the next two comments are both whacks on a similar topic. So I'll give you the first comment and then the second, then you can respond.
Right.
First one from Jerry. Nick and Mark, give Victorian golf courses a rest. Second one from Stephen. I'm not sure I can listen to Mark Allen and his ridiculous pro-Victorian stance anymore. Play it on the sandbelt every second year and give the other states a go on the alternate years. Nick, why don't you stick up for WA and the other states?
Yeah, come on, Nick. You're a Western Australian.
Well, I just know quality golf courses when I see them. So
Jerry
I
and
hate to say
Stephen, whack and whack.
Yeah.
whack away.
I get
That's
that.
fine.
And believe it or not, we try our very hardest not to be a Victorian podcast. We try to be an Australian podcast, and that's why we very much give all the other states as big a look in as we can. But if we're talking about the best golf courses that are Australian openable, then I think Victoria has 4 of them.
Yeah, I think on the women's side, that's when it gets interesting.
Yeah.
With the Women's Australian Open, because for me, I'm going to go WA here. Mount Lawley would be a great Australian Open women's course.
Lake Kerinup. would be
Kooyonga
a
we saw
ripper. Kooyonga.
was incredible.
Superb.
Yeah, and then up there in Sydney way, I mean, you've got New South Wales Golf Club, you've got Royal Sydney.
Yep.
For the men, I think now they're going to be fairly short.
Yep.
But for the women, I think they'll be perfect.
Absolutely
So,
perfect. Yeah. So look, the Australian Open, if you had 2 rotations for the women and the men, and they've got to get to Kingston Heath and Royal Melbourne, the women, that they've got to be part of the rotation. But you see, the hardest thing is if, like Royal Melbourne, they might want an Australian Open for quite some time because they want their course back. I mean, at the moment, they've only got 1 course and 9 holes because they're putting the new drainage in. And believe me, once the new drainage gets into Royal Melbourne, holy moly, what a difference that is going to make to that joint.
I haven't been there in a while, so I didn't know.
They've got 9 holes out at the moment on the
Okay.
east. So they've only got 27 holes at the moment. So you've got to take into account all that sort of stuff as well, whether it's possible to do it. But, you know, who knows? The Kingston Heath members might be all done with Australian Opens for a little while after this year's Australian Open. Who knows?
Okay, comment here from Jeff. This is not a whack. This is the opposite of a whack, actually. I was at the Australian Masters one year on the Saturday at the range. Mark Allen was close to us, not a hair out of place. Gary Player just hit lob wedges for half an hour. VJ was hitting driver through the back of the range, and Terry Price showed up. He'd gotten up on the right side of the bed that morning and was cracking the whole line up with jokes, with young Mark trying to keep his composure, but not helping but laughing at some of those. It's amazing because that is the main thing I remember from that entire day at the golf.
He was a pretty funny character, Terry Price, wasn't he? Some days he'd come on and he would be that guy, and other days he was so grumpy he didn't know what to do. You just stay out of his way.
There's nothing like the range, before even on the practice days, I think. Maybe not so much tournament days, but you go to the range on practice days and you will see and hear things like out of control. Yeah. But Terry was, he was a flusher. Just a great ball striker, but
a complete flusher.
For him, that was the putter, which kind of let him down. And I remember we played the Masters one year, Saturday. So I think it was a Saturday, so he's made the cut. Yeah. We're probably middle of the field, I don't know. But as we're walking onto the first green, he goes, "Nick, I'm putting so bad this week." I'm like, okay, I have a feeling you're probably not going to putt well today either. So I didn't say that to him, but he was always a character, and he wore his heart on his sleeve. And all the best to you, Terry. I think
Good on you, Terry.
He's a great bloke. Yep. Really, very, very good coach too.
Yep, fabulous. God, if you got coached by Terry Price, it'd be. You'd get the finer points of the golf swing, that's for sure.
A few more comments on Friday feedback. A couple of whacks still to come, and a really good question for you from Dylan, which we'll get to a little later on.
Okay, let's get to Dylan soon.
Front 9, back 9, or eyeing the 19th hole. Wherever you are in life, Host Plus can help you drive your retirement further. That's a plus.
From Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, this is Talk Birdie to Me. Host Plus, the official retirement partner of Talk Birdie to Me. The golf clearance outlet, they beat everyone's prices. Ping will help you play your best. And better, ahead of the game. Now for Titleist, the number one ball in golf, and FootJoy, the number one shoe and glove in golf. Here's Nick and Mark.
Okie doke, Dan, back to you.
Okay. This one here from Craig. The seagull picking the ball up video, because we showed a video of the seagull and the ball last week in the show, stoked my memory of a time 30 years ago. My buddy and I had finished playing at Southampton Municipal Course and were having a drink on the terrace. The 18th, it's not there anymore, it's changed now. The 18th green was right by the terrace and was on top of a big upslope with a fairway below. Unseen group of players had hit, and one had managed the green about 25 feet from the pin. We watched as a crow flew in to inspect the ball. The crow looked at the ball, nudged the ball again, kept nudging the ball. It ended up 2 feet from the hole.
Are you joking?
When the players came up, the bloke who'd hit the 25-foot shot was jumping up and down with the excitement of this amazing long iron he'd shot. We said nothing.
Good on him.
Well done.
Good on him.
What's
the rule? I mean, if no one saw it, it's a bit like a tree falling down the forest and no one's there, isn't it?
That's right.
It's well done.
It's like your ball at where was it, Royal Sydney? If you hadn't seen the kid pick it up, well, it's a lost ball.
I'm back to the tee. Hit another one.
A comment from Matty Richardson. Bubba Watson loved my setup, and he's put a little fire emoji there.
That Matty Richardson, the Richmond superstar, Matty Richardson.
Richmond superstar, Matty Richardson.
I tell you, he did have a great backswing and a good setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was just trying to hit it too high. That's why you missed the ball, Matty. That's why you missed it.
Okay. This is a whack here, this one. This is okay. I'll just read it out and we can respond.
Just back on that, maybe you should mention more in kicking terms. He was trying to kick it too high.
Yeah, that's right.
Lean back on it too much.
That's right. He leaned back on it too much. That's
anyway,
right.
Sorry.
You were actually on that. You were down at Collingwood recently talking to the Collingwood forwards.
No, a while ago I went and had a chat to
President's lunch.
To some of the there was that as well. Yeah,
I was going to say
before that.
I kept it. What I was going to say. I'm glad you weren't talking to the forwards because we've been kicking that bad.
Oh,
lately.
really?
It's
Okay.
been a joke.
No, I still haven't. But maybe that'll happen at some stage down the line.
We kicked well against Hawthorn, and then since then it's been horrible.
I had a brief discussion with a couple of the guys in the coaching room there about how they go about it with the kicking and things.
I think I need to be
and
in
they
this
said
room. I'm a bit worried you could be a double agent down there and give them some bad information.
And they said, we should get you back to talk to some of the guys. I said, yeah, sure. So, but it hasn't happened yet. So that's okay.
Right.
I know my dockers are doing well. And so
That's right.
I won't put the mocker
Craig
on.
Kelly, who's the CEO, I need to be in the room
Yeah.
just to make sure he's not giving them some bad info.
Sorry, Ned.
Don't let them speak the week before they play Freo. That would not be good. Okay, AB. I note both of you, Nick and Mark, do not mention the nature of the regime and their murdering past when you talk about potentially going to live. But hey, you're just confirming golfers have no moral compass. They're all just greedy millionaires, aren't they?
Well, I get this question a lot. No one ever mentioned Aramco. Aramco? I always get that name.
Aramco.
No one ever mentioned Aramco when the girls were playing one series after another. No one mentioned it until it was brought up by Brandel and some of the others who used it against Liv. It was never mentioned, not once. And now people are jumping on that bandwagon because it's, obviously they've worked out where Aramco comes from. So a lot of people were very quiet until Liv came along, and as far as the beheadings in the square and all the rest of it, which obviously we frown upon.
Now, there was a story a little while ago, and I can't recall. I think it was on one of the guest pods, maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but it was about how Greg Norman would hit his shot, and then he would, and the crowd would leave the green before. Yeah. I can't recall who it was we were talking to. Do you remember?
Yeah, in the end, Greg was very good about it. And even if he had a 1-footer, he wouldn't do it if it was close, because he would put. Let's say he was playing with Craig Parry, for instance, and Craig Parry might have had a 3.5-footer, and he'd mark the ball. Greg, in the end, worked out what was going on, where he would putt out, and then the whole gallery would nick off to the next tee, and poor old Craig's got a 3.5-footer, and people are running all over the joint. So in the end, Greg was pretty good about it and refused to do that to his playing partners.
Yeah. So Seed saw that episode or heard that episode, and Seed has said, guys, this is probably a silly question, but why does it matter if the crowd is heading to the next green? Is it just that the noise and the movement is a distraction for the golfer who's yet to play his shot?
Correct. Yeah. It's very much a distraction. And
you don't know what's going to happen. You're waiting for something to happen. That's the worst bit. I mean, if you knew everyone was just moving to the next tee and there wasn't going to be, but, quite often something happens, like someone squeals or whatever it might be.
And I played with Greg a number of times, and he was always great with the cameraman, for example, where he might hit a shot or maybe it's my turn, and they'd all be getting set up, trying to get the best angle of him, and it's kind of in my eye line or my view, and he go, hey guys, come on, just let Nick play, then we'll do it, and stuff like that. So he's always very good with that.
Absolutely.
Another comment on the Turkish Delight situation that you mentioned from Burjo. This one,
is a
Mark.
situation.
Well, it is. Burjo said the Turkish Delight in the Spice Bazaar in Istanbul is top notch and is not a rip-off.
The Spice Bazaar?
Spice Bazaar.
What's that?
A bazaar. It's like a market, a market type thing, called a bazaar.
Yeah.
I highly recommend visiting Istanbul. It's an amazing city. I took the kids there in 2024. We loved it. Spring or autumn is the best time to avoid the heat. There's spring or autumn, obviously.
It was Michael Jackson's favourite place in the world. There you go.
Okay. Where are you going with that?
It's just what I remember about Istanbul when we sailed through it. Trish and I went on one of those, we went from Amsterdam to Istanbul on one of those. And it was the greatest trip we had. I was hosting a golf tour, so we stopped off 4 times and played golf 4 times in the 2 weeks. It was just right. And it's just what I've always remembered about that place is that the tour guide said it's Michael Jackson's favourite town.
Okay, this one from CK. This is not on Turkish Delights, but is on your comments about sushi last week. Mark, last week you made the big comment, that the sushi in Australia is better than sushi in Japan.
Well, I wasn't sure.
And you also said...
I said that the Chinese food is much better in Australia than it is in China.
You did say that. Yeah. I think you were quite unequivocal about the sushi situation.
I said... No, I said, does anybody know? Because everybody tells me that the sushi in Japan is much better than the sushi here. And I said, I can't believe it.
Well, CK has responded. CK said, sushi anywhere else in the world is a pale imitation of sushi in Japan, particularly in Tokyo.
There you go.
Have you been to Japan?
No.
Nor have I.
I've flown into the airport once and flew out again. It was a connecting flight. I always wanted to play in Japan. But
I want to go to Japan.
There was a couple of tournaments I could have played, but it didn't work out.
You know who we should get on? We should get on Paul Sheehan one day because Paul Sheehan takes people to Japan.
He's the king of Japan.
And every single person that I've spoken to about these trips, 1, loves the trip, but 2, rates how perfectly everything runs when Paul Sheen's involved.
there
Of
you
course,
go.
Paul Sheen, if you don't know, was a Japan Open champion of years ago, and wherever he goes, oh, Mr. Sheen,
Yeah.
wherever he goes, they love him. They absolutely love him.
Well, and Paul Sheen has got that trip that you can win on Golf Loop, the golf
that's
trip.
right.
We can win a trip to Japan to play golf with him, which, man, that's amazing.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
Pretty
good.
good.
All the details at golfloop.com.
I used to play a lot of practice rounds with Paul Sheen.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a lot of my money in his back pocket.
Well, you can put the dots off it.
Yeah,
so,
he was a good player.
yeah.
My brother Mike lives in Singapore now. Has been for a year or so, and prior to that lived in Hong Kong for about 11 years. And I had dinner with him on the weekend. He was here, and I mentioned your comments about Chinese food to him, Mark.
What do you say?
He said you're talking out of your ass. He said the Chinese food over there is next level incredible.
I don't think so, Dan.
Every time I went there, it was very
Well,
good.
I was back a long time ago.
Okay.
So I was back. Well, I went the first year the China tour started. A long time ago. Can I tell you one story? I'll tell you one story. Let me tell you one story. Sorry.
Mark, tell us one story.
So I played well in the second event. I didn't win it because I've never won it. I came second though, right?
Okay.
And the bloke I'm staying with, Lucy and Tinkler.
Oh, Loose Head Sprinkler. There's another
Loose
great
Head
nickname,
Sprinkler.
by the way. Sorry.
So we're staying
Yes.
together. We're staying together. Anyway, we've had a good night, and we're with Eki, who's the manager at Kingswood, Keysborough Golf Club,
Okay.
Darren Eckhart. Darren wasn't going so well. He was stayed on the floor. All right, we felt sorry about it. Anyway, he's killing it these days. Well done, Eki. He's the manager at Keysborough. Anyway, we've gone out. We haven't got a tournament for a couple of days, and we've had dinner. We've had a few drinks, and we've found ourselves in a Chinese bar.
Okay.
Now, there was no DJ. There was just a jukebox. Lucy and Tinkler had enough courage.
Okay.
Okay, so he'd had about
He'd had a few.
he had about 6 drinks,
couple of lemonades.
and he was very, very courageous.
Okay.
And decided that
What
the
was the
Chinese
choice?
music wasn't to his liking.
Oh, okay.
Jeez.
So you know what he did?
A little karaoke.
He went to the jukebox and pulled the electric plug out.
Oh.
The music stopped.
Mm-hmm.
He put the plug back in and selected U2.
Okay.
1 minute later, there was a ring of Chinese people around us asking what the hell was going on. And we somehow got out alive.
Okay.
But it was on. Like, I had to do my absolute best to nullify the situation. I went and said, I pulled out the cord, put it back in, and said, there you go, sir, you can put your music back on. And they spared us our lives.
Wow. Gosh.
Jeez.
There you
Okay.
go.
Don't muck around with a jukebox in
do,
China.
No.
do not touch the jukebox, folks.
Obviously, don't like you too over there.
No, it
You
doesn't sound
too.
like it.
Fantastic.
Oh, I was talking about you and Lucy.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay, I've got to finish on this one. This is a comment from, or a question actually, from Dylan. G'day, fellas. What a great show. I'd like you to try and help settle a debate between myself and my mates regarding handicaps. This is a really interesting question, I reckon. Both myself and a mate play around 8 or 10 handicap, and we like to play different courses around Melbourne and the peninsulas each week.
That's a good way of doing it.
A few of the other boys play the same course every week. Their handicaps are between 4 and 6. So the first guys are 8 to 10. These guys who play the same course is 4 to 6.
Yep.
Dylan has said, whose handicap would you consider of better quality,
8 to 6.
theirs or mine?
8 to 6.
No, 8 to 10 or 4
8
to
to 10.
6.
8 to 10 or 4 to 6?
8 to 10. I'm on that
Yep.
because I see so.
I'd have to agree. It'd be close. I'd say they're very, very close.
But I like their bravery, so they get the points for the bravery, and it's a good subject. Unfortunately, so this is one of the great things. When you kind of start knowing what you're doing in golf, it's because you can play everywhere, and it doesn't matter. You see so many kids these days, they get the +5, they get the +6, and yet they go and play in a tournament and they're just a different player when they're on a different golf course. One of the true arts of the game is being able to turn up on the first tee you've never seen before, just with the yardage book, and know what you're doing, and be able to read greens that you've never seen before, to be able to get into a bunker, feel with your feet and understand exactly what is going on. And if you only play one course all the time, you're playing in the Wednesday and the Saturday comp all the time at your home club, and you got down to +6, it means nothing to me. Almost zero.
Yeah.
It
No,
means zero. You've got to be able to play everywhere.
Yeah.
In fact, if you're a young pro, I don't even want to see you. I want to see you very rarely at the club. I want you to be playing tournaments, amateur tournaments, whatever you're doing,
Playing everywhere.
and come back and tell me your handicap's off plus, you're plus
exactly.
6.
No,
and I know you know what you're doing.
That's a good point. I mean, I've made this point before. There was the argument a 10 handicapper is closer to a scratch marker at a club than a scratch marker is to a tour pro.
Yeah.
Okay, and people go, well, hang on, that's 10 shots. It's like, a scratch marker compared to a tour pro, it's probably more like 15.
That's right.
I would say. Because tour pros play a different course every week, hardest conditions, all that. Scratch markers playing the same course every week.
Yeah. It's funny, you and I had totally different starts to our professional career and very, very different finishes as well, I'll put in there.
Funnily enough, we're in this room together.
Yeah, that's right. Completely opposite. One of the proudest things I did in amateur golf is that I was playing off +2 at my home club, and you had to ask for permission, the AGU back in those days, to get to a plus handicap. But I actually got to +4 by playing in all the Australasian, the Australian selection events.
That's good.
So I was winning these tournaments, and my handicap went from +2 to +4, and that's when I was asked to play for Australia, which I said no to. I still get chills about that. I would love that Australian blazer in my cupboard, but that's when I knew I was right to go.
So you were legit.
I was a legit +4, the lowest handicap in the country. And here I am talking to you.
Why did you say no to playing for Australia?
Well, there was a guy who I really admired, who was the Victorian selector, and he was also the Australian selector, and his name was John Westacott. And John played football for the Western Bulldogs back in the old days. Footscray, played with Ted Whitten, who's Mr. Football and one of the first people. So I had a lot of respect for John Westacott, and he told me a story because he selected. The reason I went and played in the ACT Amateur in Canberra was because I'd been playing well, and I was in the Victorian team. It was myself and who was the other player? I forget anyway. We were a 2-man team up there, and I got selected, and I was just chuffed about that. And on that trip, he told me that the year before, and I'll tell you who it was because he comes on this show all the time, Paul Maloney. Turned pro a year earlier than me.
Okay.
But he told me a story about Paul. He said, we started taking Paul in Victorian teams, and he told me he wasn't going to turn pro, and then he turned pro. And he was a bit disappointed that Paul turned pro. But I fully understand what Paul did. He's trying to get as much amateur and good golf experience as you possibly can before you turn pro. Anyway, he told me that story.
So their goal back then wasn't for players.
No, they wanted
you to stay amateur.
They wanted rock solid Australian amateurs.
Okay.
They wanted to win as many Australian amateur tournaments as international events as they possibly could.
That's a shame.
So he told me that story. I knew very well that I was going to turn pro. I came home from Texas Tech to turn pro.
Yep.
So I played it in the ACT Amateur. I won it by about 5 or 6 shots. Just killed them. I was playing so good.
So you won plenty of tournaments as an amateur.
I was playing so well. And then he asked me to play for Australia, and I said no.
Oh.
And I said no because he told me that story about Paul Maloney.
Right. Yeah.
And I wish
what
I
a
didn't.
shame.
I wish I lied his face and I got that Australian blazer. Anyway, I know
you would have got a green jacket after all.
I know Johnny Westacott's out there, and he's not going as well as he'd like, Johnny Westacott. So, John, if you somehow get a picture of this, I had so much respect for you and the things you did for not only Victorian golf but Australian amateur golf. Was just genius. So, thank you.
Well, that's the Friday Feedback Pod. Why don't we wrap it up like this?
Friday feedback, hit me clean.
I reckon just once enough. Just personally.
Okay.
Don't know about you, Nick.
Make me mean.
Go on, play it to the end.
It's only 13 seconds long.
Okay, folks, we'll catch you next time.
See ya.
Friday feedback.
Oh, well done. It worked out well.
Very good.
Talk Birdie to Me with Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen. Live from Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. Titleist, the #1 ball in golf. FootJoy, the #1 shoe and glove in golf. The Golf Clearance Outlet, they beat everyone's prices. Better, ahead of the game. Ping will help you play your best. And Host Plus, they can help you drive your retirement further. Now that's a plus. Issued by Host Plus Pty Limited. This is general advice. Consider the PDS and TMD on our website before deciding. Wherever you listen or watch, we'd love you to subscribe and share the pod with a friend. Talk Birdie to Me's executive producer is Dan Bradley at Kaizen Media. Sound design by Daryl Misson at loudzebra.com. And now from Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, that's been Talk Birdie to Me.